This video is brought to you by Lex, the official sponsors for cohort 11.
My team and I will be talking about deploying the smart contract to a test network. And I'll be speaking on deploying using hard hat.
Why I think Foundry is exciting is because it lets you write your script with Solidity, and yeah, why not write your contract and then your script also with Solidity? I think that makes it really fun.
So when you're done with all that deployment, you need to verify if it's actually there, and also you need verification for other people to also see that, yeah, this is my work on blockchain.
For you to deploy a contract, you must have been ready. You must have tested all the functions, made sure everything is working well, and all the codes written very well to optimize gas and everything. Now, it's always better to test your codes on the Remix IDE before deploying it to make sure everything is working well. Now, for you to deploy, you must have had hard hats installed on your machine, and when you have hard hat, you initialize the hard hat environment, so you create a project. Now, when you're done creating a project, you compile your project using npm hard hat compile. Now, this creates an artifacts folder, and in the artifacts folder, you have your bytecodes and your ABI. That is what you eventually use to interact with your front end of the application. With your Node RPC URL and your MetaMask private key, use that to create an environment where you use to deploy the network on your test network. It can be Sepolia, it can be any other test network that you would like to use.
Your process of deploying with Foundry has to do with you setting up your environment on your PC, where you could go on the documentation, on the Foundry documentation online, and then you simply just follow the process that was there. I think it's really well documented. I really just ran through the process there, where you have to initialize and Foundry on your PC and then start a new project, and then also initialize Foundry in the project in the folder where you've created your project. And from there on, the folder structure is literally kind of different from how it will look on Foundry, on hard hat. I mean, hard hat is inspired by, I would say, JavaScript, because you still have your node modules and things like that. But whereas on Foundry, you just have your source folder, and then they also have a lib which represents our node module folder on JavaScript. Now, this lib folder contains your dependencies. So any dependency that is added to Foundry appears in your lib folder. And yeah, once you have your folder structure and everything set up, all you need to do is run for build to compile your code. And once your code is compiled, what you need to do is go to Alchemy, get your API key, and also go to Etherscan, get your API key. You have to add all of this in your config folder. And then once you have those keys, I think it's important for you to put them in an environment variable, so that you don't go pushing your keys or deploying your keys, because those keys are supposed to be private to you and things and stuff like that. You don't want to deploy them for everyone to see. So you have to add them to an environment variable with your git ignore and stuff like that. Once you compile your code, all you need to do is to run your build command. Once it has built your files for you, there's also a command you use to deploy your scripts. And once you've deployed that, I think you're very much good to go. Once your deployment runs successfully, that's where the joy kicks in.
That accepts two objects, the network and also the Etherscan. So for network, you have two properties in the network. You have the URL and the address private key. In URL, you can get it from Alchemy. Alchemy is a node that runs your smart contracts on the blockchain. We use Sepolia network for running our for deploying our smart contract, and you get your URL from Alchemy. by signing in, opening an app and signing in, getting the URL endpoint. So when you get that, you put it in your URL. Also your private key, we use our MetaMask address. You get your private key from MetaMask, and then you also add it to your work. While for Etherscan, you open and you log into your Etherscan and get in and open an app and get the API key also there. So when you do that, you practically run following the command on your ads documentation. You run your script and then you check. Immediately you're done running, you check Etherscan and you see your work verified. And when it's verified, you have a verification sign on your work that yes, it's tested and verified on the network, on the blockchain. For Foundry is a lightweight ID where it's compiled already for you, so you don't need to have a configuration file. All you need to do is just to run a command line verification, setting your private key and then you path to your work and you run the command and you're verified with Foundry.
For more of our weekly videos, please like, subscribe, and share.